Hello and welcome. I'm Joni, and I've recently gotten on board the oil pastel train. I resisted as long as I could, but the textures are so yummy that I just had to jump on board. So I'm here to share with you. I have 4 different brands to date, and I was going to share the difference in the textures and show how I've used them and show the actual sets that I have. So I'm going to start with just, this was my test to get the Paul Rubens pastels. It's the Haiya pastels, and I just got a box of white because you can blend with white. I use a lot of white for highlights and things like that. So they're actually, I really like the wrappers on these. The white is a lot more, it's not as oily. I've done a lot of research into these pastels. I'm neuro-saucy, so when I'm interested in something, I do a deep dive. So I've watched tens of hundreds of hours. Anyway, Haiya, there has been some complaints about, especially if you live in a warm area, that their wrappers and everything get oily. That's on the big sets. I don't have those. I only have the white, and this is a very creamy, delicious white. We'll try that later. I'll put that off to the side, just one of them. And then I'm using this container, but this is just an old container. It's not actually Neo Colors. It's the Neopastel. I, again, really love the texture of this. It's also very creamy. So let's take the purple out of there. I only have a few because they're pricey. They're much more expensive than the rest of these pastels. Sennelier and the Grand d'Arche, which I never say correctly. Don't correct me. I know I'm not speaking English correctly. Anyway, they're $3 to $4, depending on the colors and things like that, where you get them a piece per unit. So they're the pricier end of things. And I got some tools. Maybe we'll experiment with this. I found these online, and they're hard sponge. I found in trying the different blending techniques. This is a sponge that came with my Faber-Castell, what are they called? The jellies. I don't remember what they're called, right? It's kind of, you know, I have the tempera paint, and then I have the Faber-Castell, the sticks. Anyway, this came with it. It works really well to blend these oil pastels. So if this video doesn't get too terribly long, I may attempt to move something around with these so that you can see that. So the first set I got was the Mungyo Gallery Soft Oil Pastels. So I saw a lot of good reviews about this. I watched a lot of videos of people using them. And so I'm very, very pleased with this set. However, I don't think that this, I marked off the colors that I have. I have the 72, 72. I'll show you the inside of the box. Assorted colors, it lists the colors. So I marked off the ones that I have because I do really like these, and you can find them like on eBay, open stock, but again, they end up being $3 to $4 per unit when you buy them individually. So I might as well just buy the Sennelier or the Grand d'Arche. So anyway, I don't find the color accuracy is very good. It's in the neighborhood, but it's not very good. So I did my own color sheet on watercolor paper. And I normally, when I use oil pastels in my sketchbooks, I cover it with acid-free tissue, tracing paper. I don't worry about that in the box, so that's why this isn't covered. But you can see it's a delicious assortment of colors. It's absolutely beautiful. And this is what they look like. I have cut some of these off pieces. My daughter is also an artist, and so I wanted her to be able to pick some colors and try them out to see if she was interested in pastels. So let's try a blue from this set. That's the Mungyo gallery. Beautiful, beautiful, very creamy as well. So I really like I don't want them firm like crayons. I don't like the waxy at all. That's why I've picked these brands specifically. And this is the Lightwish 100 color soft oil pastels. And you can see a little bit on the box here that these are even softer than the Mungyos, so that you can kind of get that impasto effect, which I really, really love. So this comes with a lid and then two boxes underneath. And I haven't used these yet. I've tried them. You can see a little bit off the edge there. I'm gonna take that one out so we can try those against each other. But it comes in, excuse me, 2 levels. So lots and lots of delicious colors. So that is the Lightwish set, which again, it's 100 colors. I tend to like non-primary colors. I like the grayed down colors. So there's a lot of natural colors. Because I like to do, my art is a lot of animals and mushrooms, kind of from the natural world. So that's why I've picked these in particular. And I will show you, before we go into a little sample, some of the art that I've created with these. So I laid down a wash of ink first. And then I went in with some gouache on the mushrooms to try to kind of get some color variation. I wanted something very colorful. And then after that dried, I came back and used the pastels on top. So this was the Mungyo oil pastels, the soft oil pastels. So if you get up, I don't smooth it out. I don't cream it out and blend it. Blended is the term, I think. Too much. I did just in the background, and then I came back because the mushrooms have that rough looking, I did that effect without blending. And then I came in with colored pencil. So the oil pastels are used on this part. This was ink, and then there was some gouache underneath this, and then colored pencils on top. And then this was the first one I did, where same thing, basically, ink, background, wash. And then I came in with some gouache, and then I came in on top for the texture with the oil pastels, and then used colored pencil as well. So I love mixed media. Most all of my work is mixed media. So that's that sample. And then another sample, because I wanted to see the different papers. This is a Stillman & Byrne Zeta, so it took it very well. And then this is the Art Creation sketchbook. And I did kind of the same thing. Ink wash first, came in with some colored pencil around the fox, used the oil pastels for the fox and kind of over the moon. And then I came in with some colored pencil and some white ink, acrylic ink. So that is my other, that's on Art Creation. And then this is one, this is not my normal subject matter, but every once in a while I go there. So this is my Canson graduate paper. And this was, I was trying to get a lot of different texture going here. And if you look closely, I hope you can see. So I went in with the ink wash. I came back in with some colored pencil. Most of this is all the Mungyo. I think the ink wash was under here as well. I can tell because it was a pink, more or less pink red wash, lighter in this area. And then I did do a lot of blending on this with that sponge. And then I came and kind of scribed in with just the tip of my mechanical pencil. I put the lead back in and then I just used it to scribe. And then after the blending, I came back on top to get the texture. And that might have been the Haiya Paul Rubens white, testing that out. So I will show you, this is a Canson XL. I will show you kind of the different textures. So let's do the Neopastel first. I did use this a lot, you can tell. So you can see here, this paper is textured because I want you to see how well these covered. This is not the softest pastel. It is blendable, but it's not the softest. Now, how am I going to show you the white? I guess I'll show you the white over this. So this is the Haiya, the Paul Rubens Haiya. So you can come right over like that. And if you go a few times, you can see it's completely opaque. It's a great white, very, very creamy. I love it. This is the Mungyo Gallery Oil Pastel. Just a bit softer than the Neopastel, but very comparable. Again, not that waxy, crayon-y kind of Pentel. What's the other one? Craypaws, that kind of thing. That's not these. I don't get the student quality pastels. I get the artist quality or professional grade. Not concerned about light fastness. Don't really trust all that. But you see how it filled in much quicker. So it's really easy to blend. And then this is the Lightwish, and I barely have to touch this to the paper to get this. Now, you will use these more quickly because they're softer and they lay down thicker. And then that, you can see, is the spread of that one. So if we were to take a Lightwish and a Mungyo Gallery and try to blend this way and try to blend this way, you can see, I hope you can see, again, the Lightwish, if you're looking for a blended background and a more opaque background without the white of the paper showing through, the Lightwish is a better choice. But if you're looking for something that's going to last longer, you won't use as much of it, and that is still, you know, if you just come across that a couple of times, it's pretty opaque. Again, the white, let's see. So let's try blending the Caran d'Ache. These are horrible colors to be blending. So that you can see. Always have paper towels or something. Baby wipes, I've heard, are really good. I don't have any yet, but to wipe your hands because it's a messy. So you can see how that barely moves, and that moves right off or right over. So it depends on the kind of work that you want to do. If I'm doing highlights on top that I don't want to move at all, the Neopastel is great. And I mean, all of them are kind of great for that. But the Lightwish would be the last one I would use for that particular application because it's softer and it's going to move around more. None of these ever dry. Oil pastels of this nature never dry. So if you've got more of a softer pastel, it's going to be stickier, tackier. And that's why I use the tissue paper. I'm going to actually wipe this one off because there's some on the label. So I hope that was helpful. And now I guess we should do, I'll show you a little blending with the sponge. So, you know, you can go over these layers multiple times to get a more opaque finish, but you're using more product. So this is that. It's very firm. It's a firm sponge. I've seen people cut up packaging foam to use as sponges to, anything that's a stiff foam. So then you can come back and you get this nice blended look with very little effort. And it's great if you don't want it all over your fingers. And then I just wipe it off on a paper towel, and it's worked really well. So let's see. So see, you can blend those nice together and get a smooth effect, which is again what I did on the base layer of one of the mushrooms, actually both the mushroom sets, and also the skull and the fox. I did some blending first and then came back on top with the firmer pastels and did the details. Now, I have not tried these blending tools, so let's give that a go and see. Oh yeah, that works. That actually works pretty well. You end up with more product down there still, and you can get a cleaner edge, that kind of thing. So that's nice. So these are just different shapes. I got this particular shape so that it can go into the tiny areas that I'm trying to do. Oil pastels are not really something you want to use for detail work, for work that's going to have a lot of details, just because of the size of your art tool. And that something of this nature will help get, if you are going to try to do something, it will help you get a thinner line. So I hope that was helpful to you. I try to be helpful to you and share art supplies. If you're interested in me doing a Lightwish color swatching, let me know. They already exist on YouTube, so I'm not too, you know, I'm happy to do it. I'm going to do it for myself anyway, so I could definitely bring you along. But that's for another video. So thank you for joining me here today. I appreciate it. Always appreciate you liking and subscribing. And we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.